This is the Flywoo Robo something or other, and Flywoo is an interesting company because they'll rebrand a lot of things, but they'll also spec a lot of things to be custom made, and so a lot of things they make are interesting, and they tend to be reasonably higher quality than most other things for the most part. And this is their entry into the toothpick sort of class of quads, and there's kind of a lot going on here. But starting with the motors, these are 1202.5 motors in 5800 kV, which is a little bit high kV for 3S, but on these 3018 props, which I'm pretty sure what they intended it for, it performs pretty nicely. The 1202 it's a little bit small. The motor's a little bit small for a 3-inch prop for my personal liking. It would have been nice if they'd gone with 1303, but that's fine. 1202.5 is okay as well. It has a 2mm shaft in the motor, but we'll talk about more about the flight performance a little bit later. Going on with the frame is electroplated, which is interesting. I actually haven't seen it before. I guess that makes sense since carbon is conductive, so you can't electroplate it. It is really nice, except for the fact that it does chip. The electroplating does chip off pretty easily. This has only been through one flight, no crashes really, and the electroplating has chipped off all over the corners. And it's interesting, but don't expect it to be super shiny and nice all the time. The stack in there is their super tiny Nano Stack, and it has a separate ESC, a separate flight controller, and a separate VTX, and then they have the run cam split in there, which is a nice little split camera. The Nano split camera is totally great, but they put that split board all the way at the bottom, and then they printed this little adapter to hold the battery below that. So the end result is that you got a whole lot going on in the vertical Z-axis, and that is usually what kind of kills micro's performance, by having a whole lot of weight distribution all over the place. I think that it would have been great if they used their own toothpick style all-in-one board in this quad, which they have already. They've already made it. I'm not sure why they didn't use it in this quad. It would definitely drop this height of everything by at least 10 millimeters. I mean, that's a lot of height in there. That being said, 3-inch props are a lot more lenient to weight distribution and extra weight and all this other stuff. So it tends to work out okay. The all-up weight of this thing with a 3S 450 milliamp battery, which is still the size battery that I would recommend for these motors because they still draw power and it is still a 3-inch prop, is about 115 grams. And that is bumping right up against the point where I personally find that 3-inch props tend to start feeling a little bit different. If you dropped about 5 to 10 grams off this thing, it would significantly improve the performance, and that's kind of where I prefer my 3-inch quads to be at. But for what it is, with the motor that's a little bit small and the 3018 twin blade props and all in all, it actually flies pretty decently. It's no speed demon. It definitely doesn't have the best control. The throttle definitely feels a little bit like an on-off switch, but it kind of is what it is. And if you want this quad, you probably already know you want it. And it's okay. It's not bad. I think there's definitely better things out there, or you could just build it yourself. You can always build something better yourself, but I'd say this is almost reasonable. Thanks for watching. Floss your teeth. Bye.